Hello, this is Donna, and I would like to welcome you to another amazing episode of You Were Designed for Greatness. This podcast is a podcast of Vibrant Living International, and our mission is to help you live vibrantly, to empower you spirit, soul, and body. And I bring on guests on this podcast that can help us and facilitate us. I think all my guests is amazing, but you're going to see that Ali is a special lady and she has a heart to help people. So let's get to know Ali. How are you today?
Hi there, I'm good. How are you?
I am well. So, where in the world are you?
I'm in Lichfield, which is a beautiful city right in the middle of the UK, right in the middle of England. So I'm as far away from any beach as you could possibly expect to be in the UK.
Oh, and what is the weather like there today?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on a beach, that's for sure. It's very, very cold here, very cold. We're expecting snow in the next week or two, I think. So we'll
Yeah,
see. But I love snow, so that's okay.
I do too. And beach, I love the beach, but it's for a certain time of year. And so we're cold where I am in Michigan as well. So tell us about you.
Oh, crikey. Long story. I realized the other day that I'm 60 next year, and it gave me a bit of a kick up the bum because I thought to myself, I still have so much to do. And am I getting old? No, I'm not getting old. But I have had quite a varied life. And it's
Mhm.
funny because I'm writing a book at the moment called Knowing Me, Knowing You. Which is all about building confidence. And confidence was something that I really, really lost
Mhm.
for many, many years. I was always a happy-go-lucky child. Everything was fine, but as I moved into my teenage years, I constantly sought more and more validation in order to feel
Mhm.
good about myself. My whole my whole belief in myself was based on other people's opinions of me, and I think
Ooh, that one's
that I
painful.
wasn't a yeah, I'm not alone in that, I don't think. So I had a mother who wasn't particularly, looking back, I know she loved me and she wanted the best for me, but what she thought was best for me was not necessarily what I thought was best for me.
Mhm.
So there was some conflicts there. And I was a rebellious teenager, continually pushing the boundaries, the eldest of three children. And I left home very young and married the wrong man in order to
Mm.
get away and be a grown up and be able to make my own decisions. And what I'd done was jump from one difficult relationship into another cage, really,
Yeah.
where I had a narcissistic husband, who very much controlled my every move. So it wasn't physical, but it was that constant, you're
Yeah.
not good enough. No one would love you if I didn't love you. You don't need any friends. You've got me. All of that
Right.
kind of life. And over the 7 years we were together, apart from the two beautiful children that he gave me, who are now, God, in their mid 30s and have children of their own, which is my life's joy. Um,
Mhm.
Apart from that, it was just a 7 years of being broken,
Mm.
just broken into little pieces. So, eventually I left. I left the day he got physical,
Yeah.
because I wasn't going to let my children be exposed to that, and they were there when he did it. So I moved away and moved back in with my parents. That really didn't help anybody.
Yep.
And then I met a lovely, lovely man who I've now been married to for 33 years. And as much as he supports everything that I do and he really believes in me, the damage from those kind of 10 years, the 7 years I was married, and my middle teenage years all added together, stayed with me for years and years and
Yeah.
years, to the point where I needed affirmation and validation all the time. So I tried
Mm.
really, really hard to please everybody. And I was only happy if I was being recognized for the stuff that I did well. And anytime something went wrong, I took that completely personally and felt it was because I was useless and rubbish, and
Yep.
I just broken into tiny pieces until ultimately I got to a point where I had a new boss appointed over me who was younger than my youngest child, thought she knew everything. And I ended
had
up
one of
going
those too.
sick from work because just just thinking about it, and I'm like triggered.
I had one of those too.
So COVID, I know COVID hit just at the right time for me, and I know it's been horrendous for so many people across the world, and I feel for you. But for me personally, it worked out very well because I ended up in a position where I had the chance to take redundancy from a toxic environment that I hated. And I did it. I just took it and ran. I knew I'd be made redundant anyway, so it wasn't like I was being brave or anything. I was just making the leap. And I really sat down and thought, well, I'm 55 now. What am I going to do with my life?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked back at what I'd done over my life and what I'd enjoyed. And I'd always, I worked out that I'd always tried to be a manager and gain promotions and grow in my career to the level I was at, because that validated that I was valuable as a human being.
Right.
And at the same time, I realized that every job I'd ever enjoyed was the one where I was supporting other people to do that. So there was a real kind of conflict there. And I realized that to be genuine to myself, I needed to find a way of working where I was the boss and in charge of myself, but doing something that supported other people.
Right.
So having been a weight loss coach with Weight Watchers, if I can mention them, for many years,
Mm-hmm.
that was the kind of job that I really loved. I loved when people would say to me that I'd made a difference in their life.
Right.
That was everything for me, and that actually wasn't about me validating me. It was the joy that I felt for them.
Right.
So I trained as a coach, thought about, well, what kind of coach am I going to be? Realized that I'd written all my life in corporate. I was a bids and proposals writer and manager. I'd written training material for Weight Watchers. I'd always been a writer. I'd
Mm-hmm.
always mentored people. So you
Mm-hmm.
kind of combine the two and you come out with a writer's mentor, or
Mm-hmm.
in my speak, Ali Bagley writer's coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I have built a business now over the last 2 or 3 years, helping people to write their calling card books for their business, to create courses for their business, to create content that gets them seen and more visible, and generally help them in that way. But I had to get from that place where I was. 1 minute. This is what happens in a chat. The dog wants to get out, so we let the dog in. Back again. I had to move myself from that place of, can I do this? Imposter syndrome. Who's going to want to work with me? What is it
Mm-hmm.
about me that makes me worthy of this? All of those questions. And at that point, I met this guy in a breakout room on a Zoom call that was a training session, completely randomly, this fella from Italy called Marco Bertagni. And we talked for 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, both of us realized that the universe had come together in a huge crash, and that things were going to go from here. And as I describe it in the book I'm writing, it was the beginning of a love story. But it wasn't a love story between Marco and I. It was the beginning of a love story between me and myself.
Yep.
And I found out that he had developed this methodology of geo-emotional mapping. And he spent an hour working with me on my own journey map. And I, for the first time in my life, I looked back at everything that I'd been through and realized, blimey, look at all the success I've had. Look at all the challenges I've overcome. Look how strong I am. Look how I raised incredible children on my own out of
Mm-hmm.
all of that adversity. Look how I had the strength to walk away from that.
Yep.
And it really made me understand I didn't need anybody else to say, Ali, you're great, Ali, you're valued,
Yeah.
because I could see for myself
Yep.
how valuable I was. And it just, my confidence in that instant skyrocketed.
Yep.
And not in an arrogant way, just in an acceptance of,
Yes.
do you
Yes.
know what?
Yes.
We're all survivors of everything that has gone before, which means we have skills and strengths and experiences in overcoming all kinds of challenges, all kinds of things that are hard in
Mm-hmm.
life. And so I sit here now, 60 next year, having written 9 books, having 3 more on the go, having helped many people to write their own books, having the best life ever, more friends than I've ever had in my life. And I honestly do not care what anybody thinks about me. As long as I really don't. And as
Yeah.
long as I'm doing the best job I can in terms of my clients, in terms of
Yeah.
supporting my family, of being there for my friends,
Mm-hmm.
what more can I do?
Right.
So, yeah, that's me.
I I love your story. I recently was chatting with someone in Messenger, and I was inviting them to, which I do often, a virtual coffee or tea, as I say, to meet and get to
Mm-hmm.
know each other. And her reply was this: Donna, I so appreciate your kind offer to get to know each other and for our coffee chat. But I need to politely decline because I'm married to a controlling man who will not allow me to have any friends outside of him, so I cannot have a virtual chat with you.
Oh,
And I sat there completely stunned and hurt. And, it's like, so how, God, how do I help her? It's like,
mm.
and so I ask you, what would you say to that kind of woman who still feels in that place?
Having been there and been in that
Yeah.
situation, honestly, I don't think there's anything anyone can say that she will
Yeah.
listen to, because she's allowed herself to be stuck in that controlling place to the point where she will admit it to people and
Yeah.
tell people about it, even though when we're thinking logically, to say something like that to somebody, I mean, you just wouldn't you wouldn't share that necessarily.
Yeah.
I think it's so difficult because I'd want her to talk to me,
Yes.
but that's what she's refused to do, is to talk to you.
Yeah.
What I would come back to her with, and you're asking me this off the cuff, and I don't
I know,
know
I
her,
know.
but what I would come back to her with is, I'm really sorry you can't accept my offer, but is there someone else that you can talk to
Yeah.
about your situation? Because it's not normal, it's not
Right.
healthy, and
Right.
it's not right, and you need some support.
I answered her something like that. So that's a
Yeah.
great, I'm glad I did good with all of that. I haven't had that type of relationship. So, but that insecurities and low self-esteem feeling, I do understand.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yes, it
Well,
was a
everybody's
bold
different.
statement. It was a bold statement to say that. And I asked her who was in her world, what kind of support system did she have? Because she wasn't even in the same town I'm in or the same
Mm.
country. So therefore, to be able to provide real support, I can't, logistically.
Exactly. And
But
it does sound like a cry for help.
it does. It
Mm.
absolutely does. So we'll see if the conversation, if she chats with me some more, and how much control there is over her chat as well. But, you know, learning to be able to help people through this kind of stuff. So if people wanted to learn more about the emotional geomapping and and perhaps writing a book, or they know they have a story to tell and they would like to talk to somebody, how would they find you?
Oh, easy. I have two websites. One is the emotional geography website, which is https://www.emotional-geography.com. And on there, you'll find out everything you need to know, including being able to download our book, The Flow of the River, for free, that tells you all about the methodology, how it came into life, and how it works.
Okay.
You can also, from that site, book to come on one of our retreats and spend
Okay.
time with Marco and I, which is great fun. We're all over the place. We're in the UK, in Italy, in Portugal, in Colombia, in Mexico, and then again in Italy this year. And for writing your book or any aspect of writing, come to www.alibagleycoaching.co.uk, and there you'll find out everything about me as a writer's coach. And you'll find a Calendly link there to just book to come and have a chat with me.
Okay.
And if your chat is about writing a book, creating a course, creating content, any of those things, that's the dog just got out again. If it's about any of those things, fine. If you are also somebody who is in that kind of relationship that we've been talking about, who wants a safe space just to talk to somebody, book a call with me too. No obligation, no fee. Let's just chat and help you out.
Sounds great. We'll have all those links in the show notes, so you didn't have to remember that. You can take a look at that, and they will be there for you as well. Ali, thank you for being brave. Thank you for not continuing. I mean, I commend you for all of the years that you were something else and that you decided to really be who Ali really is. And I
Finally.
love watching you shine. I love watching you help other women. So keep shining, and thank you very much for
I have every intention of shining forever.
Awesome. Thank you again.
Thanks, Donna.
All right, that was a great conversation with another amazing woman. We will put her links in the show notes for you to check out those resources if you would like to. And remember that on the one of the websites, there was a free book. Why not check it out and take a look at that? As always, this is Donna with Vibrant Living, wishing you a life of vibrancy. And if you feel like you need some support as well, remember that I am here. And there is a link also in the show notes to schedule a chat with me, and seeing what all support and other resources that I have will be on my website. So have an amazing rest of your day. And thank you for subscribing to this podcast. Be sure to leave a review if you haven't, and share it with someone you love so that we can reach more women and let us all shine brightly. That's it for today. Bye for now.